Hello there everyone, I am Cosmic the Dolphin, and this is a little game that I have run quite a few times, underestimate, at a variety of different marathons over the years. The next Penelope, Race to Odysseus, and this is a submission video for it. If you want a unique, fast-paced top-down racer with both F-Zero and Mega Man elements to it, this is the speedrun for you. So let's go ahead and get started and just hop right in. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So we're going to skip the cutscenes because, you know, of course this is the fastest method in any sort of speedrun. Who wants to get ready. Cutscenes, right?
3,
now,
2, 1.
This game is a science fiction retelling of the Iliad by Homer. So, as you can tell, the title is The Next Penelope. We are Race to Odysseus. We are playing as Penelope, the wife of Odysseus, as she is racing to find Odysseus. Of course, in the original Iliad, Odysseus went and left her, and she had to deal with constant suitors trying to find her, but she just leaves those suitors behind in the dust. This is the first skip of the run. We do a 180-degree turn, and just go right to a later section of the track. Now, here, after this first tutorial race, we get to our second tutorial race, and we unlock the second power-up of the run. Well, the first power-up here, the Smash Boost. Now, the Smash Boost works very similar to Boost Power in the F-Zero games in that every time you use it, you go much faster, but as you can tell, it does quite a number there on our energy levels. So I want to use enough of it to go very fast and not slow down for about anything. But I don't want to use so much of it that I end up losing. So that is what we're doing here. And that is the end of that tutorial section, teaching us a little bit about that Smash Boost power-up. Now we get the second power-up available, the Plasma Gun, and these weapons are where that Mega Man influence comes into this game. You see, beyond just racing, this game has very tight boss fights where you use a variety of weapons. Whatever planet you decide to visit unlocks a new weapon. You can visit the planets in any order, even though there is a suggested order that is easier. We do not take that suggested order in the speedrun route. And it allows us to get new power-ups, new guns that allow us to take out bosses quicker. However, you can notice that every single thing we do does affect our energy meter, so just like the Smash Boost, that Plasma Gun takes energy to use also. So if I am a bad aim in the boss fights, then I will lose. If I am a good aim in the boss fights, I will win. If I get hit by any of the bosses, I will lose. So you have to be an excellent aim. So now we're going to, after talking to Poseidon here, who tells us we need to go find Odysseus, as there's a lot of Greek mythology characters in this. We visit the first world, where the Sirens try to get Odysseus to go off course. The Sirens also try to get Penelope to go off course. So we have unlocked a new power-up, the Vampire Mines, and the point of this level here is to just get our health back up to 100%. So the Vampire Mines are a very interesting little mechanic. Every time we lay one and one explodes, well, we get health back every single time. So we just are driving backwards on the track to get a bunch of them to blow up and get the health back by driving backwards instead of going forwards. And we complete that track much faster than if we had went through it forwards and trying to drop mines at racers as we slowly drove by. So with that out of the way, we get to the first race of this world. Each world is set up in a very specific way. We go to a tutorial where you learn how to use the new weapon, which is some sort of challenge mission with that weapon. A 5-lap race against the suitors that are still trying to convince Penelope, hey, Odysseus is gone, you should marry us. And finally, a boss fight against some figure in Greek mythology history. So, the reason why we wanted to visit this planet first to get these vampire mines so quickly, and be it the first power-up that we receive in the run is that it allows us to get large amounts of energy back. Now, obviously, whenever we are going around the track, we want to be using that boost power as often as possible to go very fast, but it does take a lot of energy to do that. But, as I mentioned earlier, the vampire mines, every time they explode, give us a little bit of health back. So I can simply race around these tracks very quickly by just using these vampire mines to get all the health back I would ever need instead of slowing down to go through any particular health refill zone. This allows me to save a considerable amount of time in every world that has one of these 5-lap race sections. So it is by far the most time-saving weapon in the run, so it is the first weapon that we make sure to get. Now, this is the final lap, and we are going to use the vampire mines in an unexpected way to also get rid of the boss of this world. As I said earlier, every single world ends in a boss fight, so we are going to take out this boss here, which are the sirens that did not succeed in getting Penelope to lose interest and drive off. Instead, we just take them out of their tanks. So we shoot them a few times with the plasma gun there, and then we drive into the boss's hitbox with the mines going off. And there we go, that is the end of that boss fight. Since the mines give you health back, we can really use that to just kind of cheese that boss fight. Since we drive inside the boss's hitbox, the mines blow up the very frame we lay them down, and we get health back that same frame. What that means for us in practical terms is even though we take a lot of damage by driving inside the boss's hitbox, we get all that health back very quickly, and we can do massive amounts of damage as long as we are just... I am missing my aim. As long as we are laying down mines. Now we go to this next area, which is a giant desert with the character Ariadne, who was somebody that Odysseus met in the Iliad, except it appears that he's died in a vain attempt to get treasure. So in this world, we unlock a new weapon that we are using at the moment, which is the harpoon. Now the harpoon allows us to grab items from a distance, and we want to get it second in the list of weapons that we choose for the speedrun. The reason being is that it allows us to dual damage. It greatly increases our DPS against bosses. You saw the plasma gun is a little pea shooter. We could shoot the plasma gun and the harpoon at the same time. So that means every single boss fight from here on out, we are going to shoot the plasma gun and the harpoon at the same time, which will allow every boss fight from here on out to go faster. So we want to get this power up next in the speedrun route. And those are the most important points in the speedrun route, that we get the plasma gun, the vampire mines, and the harpoon early to make any of the later rolls go quickly. So this track here has a lot of shortcuts where you see those giant purple blocks. Those can be pulled away to open up alternative pathways with the harpoon. However, it is very slow to actually use that. You saw in the last little challenge area with collecting those larvae and the treasure that the larvae had. The harpoon animation takes a long time, so it's much faster to just instead take rid and take control of all the other racers by dropping mines, getting health back from them that way, and just driving through using the boost as much as possible. I do need to be careful. I did have some mine drops that were bad, so there's some extra mines left on the track, which if I run into my own mines too much, it will kill me, but we're already on the last lap, and we should be fine at this point. I don't need to drop any more mines, and we're quite far ahead of second place. So no issues. Let's just keep on tracking right till the end. And there we go. Some of the final mines we dropped went off, and I can now finally boost my way to the end of this track. Now we get to the boss fight of this world, which is a massive larvae that apparently killed Ariadne. And this is the most difficult boss fight in the speedrun because we are going to attempt a quick kill on him. So the first part of this boss fight is that we need to use the harpoon to pull off 7 of the 8 shield bits that he has surrounding him. Now the laser that he shoots actually does very little damage, but contact damage with him is an insta-kill. So what I want to do is get right in his face and hit him with the harpoon and the plasma gun at the same time. And you can see that it does quite a bit of damage every time I do that, and we can take him out. The casual way of beating that boss fight is to lead him in a giant circle as you slowly drop vampire mines, make him run over them, and kill him that way. But it's much faster to just do that dance of death right in front of him and continually shoot him with the plasma gun and the harpoon, which allows us to get that fast kill. But we have to be very careful because touching him would kill us. Now we are into the labyrinth, which of course in Greek mythology was guarded by the evil Minotaur. And we just want to go through with our new power-up, the teleporter. The teleporter unfortunately doesn't have very many practical uses, but it allows us to teleport and phase through walls. That makes some races very interesting as a routing aspect. So that was a large maze and we just had to go through back there, but by teleporting through walls at the right spots we could find the exit quite quickly. And now we have to race these crazy suitors again that have found us inside the labyrinth. Still don't want to give up on Penelope. Jeez guys, you know, just give the poor girl a break. She's trying to search for Odysseus, like, that's obviously her husband. Just leave Penelope alone. And now we're going to use that teleporter to really goof up this track. So we can teleport around in some unintended ways and get through this track a bit faster than originally intended. Now, this trick is pretty self-explanatory. You can see what I'm doing here now. And in a normal marathon, this is where I would drop commentary just to leave it open for some donation comments, because obviously it's pretty self-explanatory what's happening here, but as I have some extra speaking time, I might as well just mention that this game is very interesting in its development. This game was made entirely by one game dev. That man is Arun Rigard. He is a very interesting French game dev, obviously an indie game dev, who just creates some very unique properties entirely on his own. So if anybody happens to know about, for example, the excellent DS game Meteos, it's a puzzle game. That game was also a game designed entirely by Arun Rigard. He's just an excellent one-man game-making machine, and he absolutely knows about the speedrun of this game, the next Penelope, and even suggested a lot of routing stuff to maybe help us go faster. So he really helped the speedrun community of this game in its infancy. So hats off to Arun Rigard. Now we are to the end of this track, and we actually get to fight the Minotaur inside this labyrinth. So how are we going to deal with that? Well, we're going to hit him with both the harpoon and the plasma gun at the same time through walls so that we can get a quick kill on him, a much quicker kill if we just had the plasma gun as you would normally do in the suggested route for beating this game. So thanks to having the plasma gun and the harpoon together at once, we were able to get him with only teleporting out of that trap once, whereas without the harpoon that would be a 5 to 6 cycle fight, and it became a 2 cycle fight instead. Now we go to Archeon's Vapors, which is another world where this is the only world that does not give you a new weapon ability. Instead, what happens here is that we have no weapons and we are chasing Charon, you know, in Greek mythology, the man that took souls across the river Styx to their final resting place, and he has taken all our weapons away, and we just need to race out of the underworld. So that is what we are doing. We have no weapons, and we just need to race as fast as possible. There are no edges on these tracks, but as long as you get off the track and right back on the track again within a few frames, what ends up happening is that the death animation for falling off the track never plays, and we're able to go through and skip large sections of the last track and this track here also. Now this saves us quite a bit of time, and it's kind of a cool little skip. There is another skip like that in the next track in Archeon's Vapors also, however it is not marathon safe, and just small issues such as frame rate issues with the computer can cause that particular skip to just not work. So in world record attempts we can go for that, but here we are simply going to do this track as intended, which is trying to catch up to Charon and pass all of these souls that he is trying to lead to the afterlife and get out of the afterlife before Charon whisk our live soul away. So we just need to drive through this track as quickly as possible. We can already see Charon there. We're almost up to him. Taking the skip in this track would have saved us roughly 15 to 20 seconds, but again, not marathon safe. So we just caught up to Charon the old-fashioned way. So that boss is defeated, and now we are going to use all these experience points that we've been getting this entire run. Yes, the experience points actually allow you to buy upgrades for your ship. There's only one upgrade that really helps us in the speedrun, and that is the upgrade I'm putting all of my experience points into right now, Resilience. Resilience gives us an extra bar of health, and since all of our weapons are related to our health, that will give us extra health for the upcoming boss fights, which will allow us to just unload all our ammo on them a little bit faster. So in this final world, before the final boss fights of the game, we unlock the Black Crystal. The Black Crystal power-up is an interesting power-up. It basically turns enemy fire into experience points. So the point of this training mission is to just get 100 experience points. So we're just going to camp in front of that guy and turn 100 of his shots into experience points, and that's the end of that training mission. So now we are to the 5-lap race of this world, and the suitors are really powered up right now. They are really tired of how much Penelope has been making fools of them, so they just want to gun her down at this point. So we have a little bit of extra health and the Black Crystal power-up, which could turn their shots into experience points, you know, which might be handy, but we're not actually going to use that. We're just going to do what we've done in the other races and use the vampire mines to just turbo past them and get enough health so that we never need to stop turboing. So this is another point where I would leave for donation comments in a normal marathon run. However, I will just mention, since this is a marathon submission video, a little bit more about the game development of this. So you can get this game on Steam, and that is where its original release was. It also had a limited run of a physical edition of the game, which I do have, and it is pretty handy. The physical edition of the game actually is on a branded USB drive, and I also have the obvious downloadable copy that is just on the Steam store. This game is also on the Switch in the eShop, so if you want to play this really unique little game and and it's really a bit of a hidden gem. Just get it on Switch or on Steam, either platform. It's well worth your time. It's got a very high difficulty curve to it. I mean, it's not too common that you find top-down racers anymore, so I wouldn't say that it's something that most people are used to playing, but it is very handy. So after we get through this race, we'll be to the boss fight, Arachne, who has built up his city to be impenetrable, and he's a giant computer system in this sci-fi retelling. But we're just going to take down all that computer system so we can escape this city and get to Odysseus. And after Arachne is down, all that's left are boss fights. There is nothing else in the game. So I just need to get to the end of the track here. I've left enough mines. They should start blowing up here shortly. And we'll get a good bit of health back to be able to turbo our way right to the end of this race pretty quickly. So yeah, that's a pretty easy race. And here we go to the boss fight against Arachne himself. This is a very difficult boss fight. He does a truckload of damage. Obviously, you would use the black crystal to turn his shots into experience points. But we don't want to actually do that. We just want to, you know, hit him ourselves like a truck, and that's a bit faster. So that's what we did. So that difficult boss fight, easy peasy once you know what we're doing. So now that we've defeated all of the planets, we now actually know Odysseus' location, so let's go find him. So we go to this extra cutscene here, and we see Odysseus fly by, and we go try to track him down. So what happens in this cutscene is that Poseidon gets in the way of us, telling us, hey, you were supposed to find Odysseus. I found him myself, and he's turned into a homicidal maniac, and we tell Poseidon, you're telling lies! That's untrue! Odysseus is my husband! He would never turn into that. And he's like, yeah, he totally is. So we have to dispatch of Poseidon here, since he's obviously lying to us. So that's what we're doing. So this boss fight is pretty interesting. The boss of Poseidon has so much health that it's actually impossible to defeat him without hitting him with the vampire mines. We need to get health back. He has so much health that even if we were to make sure that every single one of our shots hit him and he never attacked us, we would not have enough health to actually defeat him. So in that one cycle I hit him with a few vampire mines to get health back, and that's the end of that fight. And now Odysseus is like, wow, you've become quite powerful, my queen. I can't believe you killed Poseidon. And we're like, holy cow, Odysseus, you actually are a homicidal maniac. We have to take you down too. So here we go. This is the final boss fight of the game, taking out Penelope's husband, Odysseus. It's quite a difficult boss fight also. Quite a heavy shmup theme going on here. But we can just hit him with the harpoon and plasma gun, and there we go. That is Odysseus down, and time. So that is the next Penelope, Race to Odysseus. So that is roughly, I believe that run was 28 seconds slower than my PD, but it was a pretty nice run, if I do say so myself. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed commentating it, and well, I hope you enjoy it as a potential suggestion to put it into a speedrun marathon. These are the credit sequences, and as you can tell, a game by unknown we got. So thank you everyone for watching.